Hi, welcome to the Ellis Talker Show. I'm DV LeBron. Today, my very special guest is Mr. Alan Lazaros. How you doing, sir?
Very well. Thank
You
you so
know,
much for having me. I appreciate it.
thank you so much for coming on. You're so dynamic. I was looking at your different things, and I love how you have a couples podcast, which is awesome, and then you also have talked about personal development. So I kind of wanted to have you on to kind of tell your story, and then just talk about some of the things that people struggle with so much, and kind of how your resilience and your perseverance, how you got through it.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. The uh, interesting part of being 36 now, even though I look young, is a lot of times I'll see people and I'll meet people, and I do kind of look a little bit like a silver spooner now. So weird for me. Kind of like I was born on third base, and I definitely had some advantages, but it couldn't have been farther from the truth. I joke, I say I couldn't even see the ballpark.
Right, right. I understand that.
I have no doubt. And so, tough start. I'll try to be as brief as I can. I'll try to condense 36 years into 3 minutes here. Everything's numbers for me. I'm an engineer, so forgive me for that.
It's all good.
1991. Birth father is 28. His name is John McCorkle. It's Jim, Joe, John, Jane, Joan, Jeanette. 6 kids.
A lot of
Irish
J's.
Catholic family. A lot of J's. So, born and raised in Massachusetts. His family was from Holden. He passes away at 28 in a car accident suddenly when I'm 2.
Oh, wow.
Mom is 31, stay-at-home mom. Sister is 6. I'm almost 3. Birth father passes away. Stepfather comes into the picture. So birth father is John McCorkle. Stepfather is Steve Lazaros. I took his last name, I think, around age 7. From 3 to 14, that 11-year span, I had a stepfather named Steve, and I playfully refer to that part of my life as boats and BS. This is the 90s, from 1991 to 2002, and the dot-com bubble was a big deal, and he worked for a company called AGFA. They did hospital computers during the dot-com bubble, and the United States is by far the largest economy in the world, and it was back then, and the 90s were wild. Not everyone had money, but it was an abundant time, and anyone who remembers the 90s, it was wild.
I was there.
So we had boats, yeah, exactly. We had boats and ski trips, and my mom drove a BMW, a Ducati motorcycles, snowmobiles, grew up on a lake. So from the outside in, it looked like we were very well off, but from the inside out, my mom and stepdad did not get along, and that's a polite way to put it.
Oh, wow.
Stepdad leaves at 14, when I'm 14.
Oh, no.
Takes his entire extended family with him. To this day, never seen or spoken to a single one of them since.
These are people that you got to know, like they got to be family.
100%.
Oh, wow.
And when we were trying to be the Lazarus's, we didn't really associate much with the McCorkles anymore. So my birth father's side, we didn't really connect with anymore. Same year, kid you not, sister moves out, mom gets in a fight with my Aunt Sandy, get ostracized from her side of the family. To this day, I'm 36, we've only seen or spoken to 2 human beings from her side.
Oh, God.
So by the time I'm 14, I've kind of lost 3 families. We reconnected a bit with the McCorkles, but it was never really the same. And so abandonment, 2 trauma responses. I didn't know this at the time. I'll be brief. The first one was fawn. So there's 4. There's fight, flight, freeze, and fawn. Fawn is appease. Appease, appease, appease. You become this sort of social coward chameleon. And just don't lose anyone. Just don't lose anyone. Hang on to friends and family for your dear life, right? And that's unconscious. It wasn't conscious. But behind the scenes when no one was around, it was fight. It was aim higher, work harder, get smarter, baby. It was prove myself. And that's why I have all my awards in the background. For those of you who are on YouTube, I became this esoteric super achiever, prove myself, you know? And then I got in my own car accident at 26. So I did the traditional path. I did preschool, kindergarten, elementary school, middle school, high school, college, corporate. And I crushed it. I got straight A's through all of high school after my stepdad left, proved myself, all the scholarships and financial aid I could get. Because when he left, I went from, I hope I get in, to I can't even go unless I crush it, because it was $50,000 a year. My school, WPI, my dream college, Worcester Polytechnic Institute, engineering school, kind of like a mini MIT in Massachusetts. $50,000 a year back then. So I went from I hope I get in to even if I do get in, I can't go. All the scholarships and financial aid possible, every award. The obnoxious kid at the ceremony just never sat down. And straight A's through all of high school. I got what's called the President's Award. It's behind me, signed by George W. Bush. Fortunately, Massachusetts had No Child Left Behind, equal opportunity, financial aid, scholarships, all that. So I go to WPI, computer engineer, master's in business, and then I'm in corporate. And I'm used to being broke in high school and college, so then it was just, what is going on? It was 65 a year to 85 a year, 85 a year to 105 a year, 105 to 125, 125 to 180. So I'm in my early 20s making $180,000 a year, and I didn't need much. I drove a 2004 Volkswagen Passat. My rent was $500 a month. I don't have kids. I was just swimming in it, man. Swimming in
just
it.
Ready to burn it.
Yeah. Well, so I paid off 84 grand worth of college debt in a single year. I had $150,000 in a Vanguard account, all stocks. And for me, tech companies always made sense. I worked for many tech companies. And so I just picked winners and I just crushed it. Then I get in my car accident. I'm 26 at the time. This is 10 years ago. Head-on collision, my fault. I crossed the double yellows. Not a fender bender. Lift-kitted pickup truck. One of the two people back from my mom's side was my second cousin, Dan. He was in the car with me. No one was killed. No one was permanently damaged physically. Thank you, Volkswagen. I drove a 2004 Volkswagen Passat. I bought it for $5,000 cash. That car totally saved my life. I used to call it the tank. Heavy set, German engineered steel trap of a car. Totally saved my life. Totally smashed in, frame stayed. But remember, my birth father died in a car at 28. I'm 26, and this is the second chance my dad never got. That was 10 years ago.
That's deep.
10 years ago. Regret. What was it all for? Am I proud of myself? All of it, right? Just sitting in an armchair, drinking whiskey, questioning my existence. And that's when I turned it all around. That's when I found personal development, personal growth, self-improvement, mental health. That's when I reflected on my past. A good metaphor is kind of Simba going back to Pride Rock to kind of reclaim who he is. And that was 10 years ago. And I dialed personal development up to 11, man. I've been just working on myself every second of every day since. And fitness, health, wealth, love, podcast, speaking, every book I could get my hands on, you name it. And I channeled all that external achievement to prove myself into the internal fulfillment. And now I have a business with 18 people. And it's called Next Level University, 1% improvement in your pocket from anywhere on the planet, completely free, health, wealth, and love. Who doesn't want to be healthier, wealthier, and more in love? Mm-hmm. And I have a relationship podcast that you mentioned. So I'm grateful to be here. I really appreciate it. And that's the shortest possible version I could give you of 36 years. But what I will say that I now know is that adversity was only my advantage because I had self-efficacy. And I've come to learn that because my therapist, Carol, she said, I actually think you're successful despite all of that, not because of it. I used to think it was because of it. It's like, that's why I'm so gritty.
Because of the things, right?
Yeah, because of the things. And now I realize I just had a lot of self-belief, man. And I didn't know that most people don't.
It's a thing where people don't believe in themselves. How much did wanting to feel enough went into the beginning of that story? Like, you know, you had these losses in life, these losses in family, these losses, stepfather. And how much did, not feeling enough and wanting to be enough go into that journey?
Well, I think, and I appreciate you asking, I have these sort of three core wounds that I've sort of boiled it down to. And the first one, there's three. One of them is defective, which means you have low belief in your ability to achieve, but you actually feel very loved. The second one is unlovable. And these are the people that they feel like they can achieve whatever they want externally, but they don't feel lovable. That's me. You're not really allowed to say this. I don't really struggle that much with my ability to achieve things. Success always came fairly easy to me. Mm-hmm. What never came easy was relationships. What the hell, right? I'm an engineer.
You mean what's important? It's important. Relationships in life. That didn't come easy.
No, not at all, man. I had an ex-girlfriend who said dating you was like dating a stairmaster.
Whoa.
Well, I'm always going,
Yeah.
right? Always. And now I'm dating another super achiever, so we're good.
Yeah. Yeah. Now she's beating you out. She's bringing you up.
Yeah,
She's
she's killing
bringing.
it.
She's killing it.
She's killing it. Well, quite frankly, I haven't taken a full day off in 10 years since that car accident. And sometimes it's an hour a day, sometimes it's 14 hours a day, sometimes it's 18, but usually it's around 10. And I don't really want to. I build the self, build the family, build the business every day. And so that can be exhausting for some. But to answer your original question about not enoughness, I don't feel that at all. If anything, I feel like too much for people. But what I will say is I didn't feel lovable. My stepdad never wanted kids. He never cared about me, that's for sure. And so that was definitely something that drove me, for sure, unconsciously.
Yeah.
And what I realized is when people mistreat you, so if you have high self-belief and real self-belief, not the fake ego kind, people challenge you. They want to challenge it. They want to chop you down. They want to test if it's real. And I didn't know that self-belief and self-worth were two different things. I had high self-belief and low self-worth.
Okay.
Self-belief is my belief in my ability to build the castle. 10 out of 10.
Right.
Self-worth is I'm going to protect and honor the castle, and I'm not going to let my friends spill beer all over the carpets.
Right.
Yeah.
And
so
you
I
didn't feel
that.
you didn't have self-worth in yourself.
No, absolutely not. Self-respect was not even in my decision-making paradigm. Really? Now it is. Yeah.
And how has that changed? Because you've always been successful and you haven't had any problems doing that. How has that, and you are the CEO of Next Level University. How has that brought you, into that next level? Now establishing these relationships, bringing that, self-worth into the equation. Talk to me about life when you started doing that.
Emilia is the one. So almost 6 years ago this October, Emilia and I met. Greatest gift of my life. She was the one who helped me understand that self-belief and self-worth are different. And I'll never forget the conversation. She said, self-belief and self-worth are different, right? And I was like, nope. She said, well, you have low self-worth but high self-belief. And I'm like, well, what do you mean? She said, well, your childhood made you feel like you're not worth shit, basically. And it's true. I mean, holy hell, right? Mm-hmm. And it's worse than that. I mean, I haven't been able to share the half of it, mm-hmm. Right? Yeah. And I'm not going to on a public medium, but there's something called an ACE score, adverse childhood experiences. And typically people with a high ACE score have an early mortality rate. So they die young, typically. Statistically, you can research this. And I was on my way to that car accident, right? I mean, for sure. Mm-hmm. And what I've come to understand now is that self-respect and self-esteem and self-worth and self-love are really important for the social world. And there's two worlds we all have to live in. And this is not me just talking. I have 20 clients from all over the world that I coach currently, but I've been coaching for 10 years. I just surpassed my 10,766th hour of coaching, training, and podcasting with people all over the world. And I'm not saying that to brag. I'm saying that so people know I'm not just talking. What I've come to understand is that there's the real world and there's the social world. And they are so freaking different.
Absolutely.
The best metaphor I have for this is the real world is the actual marriage. You mentioned you're married 27 years.
Yes.
The social world is the wedding photos.
Oh, okay.
Everybody's got good wedding photos. Not everyone has a great marriage.
See Jeff Bezos. See Jeff Bezos.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
but at the end of the day, the social world is about status and perception, and I don't know if I'm supposed to swear on this show.
You're fine. You're fine.
Horse shit. It's just horse shit. And I came to figure that out eventually. There's a lot of people who are very full of shit. And they're all about status and ego, and they drive a Ferrari, but they're broke. And I just can't with that shit. So the real world is about health, wealth, and love. And that's about driving a Toyota when you make, 180 grand a year, driving a Passat for $5,000. Like, that's real wealth. And so at the end of the day, I didn't realize how much the social world was hurting my self-worth. Definitely bullied. I mean, you think I look young now. Imagine me in high school.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, I didn't hit puberty till last year. Let's be real.
Do you grow a beard?
I can get a little bit going, yeah. But real talk, bullied is super bullied. And just not, I didn't have a lot of self-worth, and people can smell that on you. I do now. I never could have said any of this before, right? So I became this sort of social coward that was very mousy, and I would just chameleon and fit in, and people would mistreat me, and I wouldn't even notice.
Mm.
And now I realize self-efficacy is your belief in your ability to achieve things externally. That was always good. That's great. Most people have the opposite. They have low self-belief and inflated, entitled self-worth, particularly in the U.S. Because we have a lot of privilege going on. But I grew up around a lot of people who they were very, they think they're amazing.
Yeah.
And it's unearned. A lot of them were very naturally
It usually
gifted.
is.
Yeah,
It usually is.
But deep down they're actually insecure because they don't believe in themselves. And so
Yeah.
I always do this with people. I do this in my speeches. I say, everyone think of the obnoxious man that they know, and I typically say it's a man. Usually, who just they seem level 10 confident. I call these puffer fish. They're not actually strong, but they have to pretend they are.
I like that.
Puffer fish. They seem level 10 confident, and everyone's like, "Oh, got one." Why would someone with level 10 self-belief have level 2 goals?
Not real. What they're not saying and what they're not, or what they're saying and what they're showing are two very different things, right?
What they are doing and who they are behind the scenes is night and day different than who they really are. And actually, when you learn that and they bully you, you can shield bump them and they'll never bully you again.
Yeah.
They're actually weak deep down. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, no, I'm sorry to interrupt. Do you think that you were living before you almost died?
No, I'll give you two answers. I would say I wasn't fulfilled.
Okay.
But I was definitely, I'll share this with you. You read The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People?
I've heard of it.
Stephen Covey?
Mm-hmm. Yes, I've heard of it.
In that book, he talks about paradigms, and paradigms is a fancy word for your deepest belief about the point of life. So
Right.
Some people believe the point of life is faith. Some people believe it's family. Some people believe it's achievement. Two guesses which one mine is.
Yeah.
And do you choose it or do you uncover it or is it both? I don't know. But what I do know is my paradigm, I do know that you're born into one. So if I was born in China, I'd speak Chinese. If I'm born in Massachusetts, I'd speak English. So I was born into a pleasure-centered paradigm. My mom and stepdad believed unconsciously that life was about having as much fun as possible. And so they did. They had tons of fun. They ran amok. And the problem is, on the other side of drinking and partying is always shame and bad things.
Would you
Always.
say hedonistic?
For sure. Yeah, fun and friends and partying was just such a focus for them. And that looks like a lot of fun on the surface, but beneath that is a lot of fights and a lot of shit.
Mm-hmm.
I had a paradigm prior to my car accident, to answer your question, and this is only in hindsight. It was fun, friends, and achievement. Luckily, achievement was my top priority, unconsciously. So it was achievement first, friends second, fun third. And so naturally, and if you like the show Friends, by the way, it means you have a friend-centered paradigm. Notice how they're never working?
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
There's no achievers on that show.
No.
Right? So it's achievement, friends, and fun. And so I had a ton of friends. I had a ton of fun, and I achieved a ton. I worked for a company called Cognex. Work hard, play hard was their motto. I used to say work hard, play harder. Quit drinking 6 years ago, and I tried to quit drinking for the whole last decade, and it took me 5 years basically to quit, and it's been almost 6 years. And
Congratulations, brother.
thank you. Life-changing.
Mm-hmm.
But what I will say is my paradigm shifted after the car accident. And it shifted to growth, contribution, and meaning. And now everything I do is to reach my own unique potential and help others do the same. Everything else is secondary. Potential is my word. And I have that written up there. And everything I do and don't do is built on that. So fitness, personal development and business, coaching, training, podcasting are the vehicles. And potential's the word in the center. And I'm so much more fulfilled now. But yeah, I was living, man, too much, to be honest. I was partying hard, and I was achieving a ton, and I was making a lot of money, and I had friends on friends on friends on friends, and parties and parties and barbecues, and I brought my high school friends to college, my college friends to corporate. Yeah, it was too much, man. So yeah, I was living so much that it was negative. It was not constructive, in my opinion.
No, at the points in my life where I was most chasing the feeling, chasing that kind of, I don't know, for lack of a better word, hedonism. When I was chasing that was when I was the most empty.
Same.
When I didn't have purpose. And it sounds like we both went through kind of a life-changing experience about 7 years ago for me. You know, for me, it was faith. For you, it was another thing, and that's fine. For me, I always tell people on the show, get there how you get there. If it's God, then it's God. If it's, self-help, fine, get there. Just don't quit. Just don't quit. Don't quit. Nice. I mean, because when you quit, there's no more opportunity after that. That's it. You quit. So for me, it was faith, and it sounds like, you filled it up in your certain way. You filled up your life and became fulfilled in a very different way, but you still got there. And that's a beautiful thing. And then you went ahead and this lady, which is a story that I hear often, and it's a story I can relate to. My woman, my wife, my love, the woman who's the greatest mother to my kids, just everything that she is. She makes me better. She's made me better. She has had a profound effect on me. And then about 6 years ago, you run into this young lady that you have a podcast with around 6 years ago. You say, you've been together about 6 years. And this is a point in life where you're changing, but she also helps you, makes you better. How has that relationship made you better or made you more fulfilled?
I used to think, oh, she's my everything. It's like, no way. She's my everything. She's my best friend. She's my lover. She's my business partner. She's my gym partner. She is my last remaining hero.
That is cool.
Yeah. And I come from an environment where I was looking unconsciously for male role models. No dad. I wanted male role models. So I found them in movies, The Rock and all that stuff. And they've all fallen. I've met some of them. I've coached some of them. I've been coached by some of them. And they've all fallen, man.
They come down to earth when you get to talk to them.
They come down real quick. Yeah, it's brutal. It's been tough. Genuinely, it's been wildly disappointing, actually.
Yeah,
but
I know.
with her, she hasn't fallen. I live with the woman. She is the most incredible person I've ever met. And she is, through her own example, makes me a better person. She makes me want to be a better person. And I know that you feel that way about your wife. I can tell. I can see it all over you. It takes one to know one.
Yeah.
And that's how she's changed me, is just, and then also she encouraged me to do therapy. So I'm now in the small percentage of men that do therapy and have a therapist. And I was on therapy earlier today with Carol.
It works. It works.
It's unbelievable. So I always say, if you want a coach, you probably need a therapist. That was me.
Absolutely.
Dozens of mentors and coaches, no therapist. If you want a therapist, you probably need a coach. Success matters too, right? It's personal development and professional development. You need both.
Right.
This has been tremendous. I'm so sorry. I actually have to jump on a coaching session.
I know we're running out of time. So
we're running.
But you know what? I'm really grateful that you came on the show, and I mean, I could speak to you for hours. So I hope you'll come on again, and we'll kind of continue this conversation. I definitely want to look into the couples thing, because that is a beautiful thing, and I think that relationships are disposable nowadays. And I love what you're doing with that podcast. But can you stick around real quick after the show? I know you got to go.
Yeah, of course. Yep. That was awesome.